And we do want you to ask questions. It's not the obvious stuff that you could see easily by just opening up the website. Think about the things that we're talking about. Think about the things you're most interested in the project, and let's get some good, thoughtful questions for the team here when you are able to come up and ask questions here towards the end of the AMA. And there's yeah, I mean there's the generosity here on the giveaway side is at another level. So just be aware of that and make sure you're loading up with those questions for that session, guys. Let's go ahead and officially get started. We are 5 past the hour. And this is Max Ford. I've got Leo and Max here from the Shibadoge team. We are, again, very lucky to have Shibadoge here on the VIP Twitter AMA series with us on Shiba Inu Hodler's account here. You guys have been making a splash in crypto for a little while now. And I mean, light years in crypto, obviously, when we think about all of the projects that we see come and go on a an hourly, sometimes weekly, monthly basis. And you guys, I mean, you've been around for much longer than that. So getting into let's get into the genesis here. Let's get into the beginning, and I'm sure you've got into this story quite a bit, but I want to learn more about, and our listeners, we want to learn more about you guys, who you are, as you know, where you came from, how you even got into crypto in the first place, you know, whether you worked on projects before Shiba Doge, and why you started Shiba Doge in particular. So if we could start, Leo, with you and then go to Max, but let's get some background and how things started, you know, from the very beginning before crypto and then up till now.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been a one heck of a journey, I could tell you that. But before crypto, we've all been friends. So all of the founders of Shiba Doge have always been friends prior to even starting this project together. We've been pretty close friends for years and years beforehand. But we've always been, I want to say, business savvy, and we've always wanted to scale everything that we've touched. So we've had our businesses here and there, and we've scaled our products and projects, other things that we've worked on in, the Web 2, Web 1 world pretty successfully. And I think a lot of the success that we saw in those spaces really translated into this space when we actually dove deep into here. A little bit of a background story of how we actually, found success in crypto was actually, ironically enough, through Shiba Inu and Dogecoin. Uh, we were really heavily invested and still are really heavily invested in both of those projects, and we were just super early to the boat on that end, and that's where we saw most of our success and really kickstarted us into the next dimension as to um, what crypto can really do for you financially and just change your life in a lot of crazy ways that don't have to do with money as well either, because we've made some very strong connections with people, and we've made some really good friends in the process of the journey as well. So um, if you want to jump into Max and give your end, and then we can move on to the next half of that question.
Yeah, I mean, Leo, you brought up some good points. We come from a background where we've been growing companies in the Web 2 world and building communities. So it was kind of natural for us to, when we started Shiba Doge. Um, and I think that's ultimately one of the biggest things that differentiate our project from the majority of the market. I was reading a statistic that again 2 days ago, and I've mentioned this in the past, but it came up on my feed again where it said 97.7% of projects are rug pulls, and that is no surprise to me just because of what we see in the industry, but also the people who are behind these projects. um, most devs have never ran a company in their lives, let alone started a business in their lives. So how could you really expect them to grow a project, start a project, grow it, and be successful? So just like anything else in the investing world, one of the most important things is really who's the team, what have they achieved, what have they done, what do they believe in, and do you believe in them? And we've been doing this for a long time in terms of building communities. And when we got into Shiba Inu and Dogecoin early on, it it, it gave us a different perspective on crypto that we never really had. So we kind of married the two worlds where we said, okay, let's take this crypto knowledge and let's take our business and community building knowledge and let's start something that can be bigger than anything we've ever done. And that's kind of how we are here now.
Yeah, and the main intention of why we even started this to begin with is because we wanted to recreate. So we had a lot of friends who missed out on the boat with Shiba and with Doge and just the whole crypto wave. And even though we were preaching to a lot of people early on, hey, crypto, you just buy $1,000 of this or buy $1,000 of that, like back in the early days. A lot of our friends and a lot of people that we were pitching this stuff to, they ignored it, right? So when it really took off and it changed our lives, those people really missed the boat, and um, we didn't want people to miss out because we didn't feel good, like that they didn't make it in a sense, right? So the whole point of why we even one of the biggest points of why we even started this is to try to recreate that feeling for thousands and millions of people, if possible, in the future, to kind of recreate the success, the run up, the if you miss Doge, that sucks. If you miss Shiba, that sucks. But don't miss Shiba Doge. So I mean, we're working extremely hard to make sure that that vision, has a bright future to it.
Yeah, and that's a fun story too. I mean, for a few reasons, there's a few things that I pick up on here that really stand out to me. One, to be able to work with friends. One, I mean, for anybody who's ever started a company, I've been a longtime entrepreneur myself. The last 20 years, that's what I've done, and have been able to see some fast growth with companies and all those things. I mean, anyway, first, to be able to work with friends it's not necessarily easy. It doesn't always work out. You can actually have, I've seen situations, even for myself, where partners they were friends and then became business partners, and then eventually the friendship was kind of on the fence because of I mean, you're sharing a bank account, kind of like a marriage in a way, on the business side, and it can cause some issues that, hey, we didn't deal with this as friends and we were just going out trying to have some fun. So to be able to do that, and I've also had it go well, and my friendships are all intact, now, but I've also had it go well. And when you can build something with people who are your friends, the reward for that, the personal reward, is just absolutely, it's unlike anything else. Of course, people you work with who become your friends over time, when you meet through business, that's also very rewarding. But people who have kind of been with you for a long time, and friends kind of become family, as we all know, it's kind of on another level. So that's really cool for you guys that you're able to do that. How has that dynamic been with your group of friends and going into business together? Was there ever kind of a hierarchy issue, or has it always been pretty smooth for you guys, or what has the experience been working with friends that way?
So it's a good question. And to be honest, we've lost friends through this journey because, it's just not for everyone. When we do things in our lives, we go as hard as we can at them. We dedicate everything towards end. And along that journey, you realize that certain people don't want that in their lives. They don't want to eat, sleep, and breathe what you're doing. They don't want to dedicate themselves fully to it. And that's completely understandable and not a problem. It just shows that who, what part, which friends align with our interests. So, it's been tough. There has been times where we had to stop working with friends in business, but uh, we've gotten to a point now where the team who started this project, we've been working together for so long now that at this point we're kind of like programmed. We've proven to each other that we all want the same things, and we're willing to sacrifice and put in whatever it takes to make it happen. So it's been a tough journey, but when starting Shibadoge, we were very, very mindful of that. We wanted to make sure that the team that we started it with was the team that we can end it with. So that was something that we were very mindful of, and thankfully, we have not had a problem at all, and we're still going strong. And not, I don't see that changing anytime soon.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
and
smart.
just to add one thing on top of everything you said, Max, especially in this space, the space of DeFi and the space of, it can be the wild wild west. So everything that has been done at, like, let's call it headquarters, for example, is through people that have absolute trust within each other, and that's the most important thing to see success in this space, because like I said, the wild wild west, and people are hiding behind computer screens without any accountability of things happening. um, we're here to hold each other accountable for, if somebody slacks off, or if somebody is doing something that is completely off topic, or whatever. I mean, that very rarely happens, but the point is that, we do treat this like uh, a very important business in our life, and something that we know that we can give our absolute best shot to scale at, the the most the best way that we possibly can, is probably what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's smart. Anybody who's looking at doing something like this, especially with friends, with anybody, but it sounds like this is what your group has done, is before you get started, you really have to have everybody understand, okay, these are the roles, this is what we're going to be doing. Everyone agrees to, this is what I'm doing, and this is why I'm doing it. This is the return that I'm expecting, and that's the return isn't always monetary. Sometimes it's, whether it be a title, whether it be interaction with people, whether it be attending events, man, anything and everything can come up, right? As you guys know. But if you set all of those things up before, there's an understanding, and you don't just kind of figure it out along the way, you're going to be better off. And that's, as far as my experience, that's what I would tell you. It sounds like you guys are in the same boat. So you get it going, and it looks like you chose what's commonly known in most of the world as Christmas Eve to launch it last year, right? That's when the pool was created. Is that correct?
That's
Correct.
correct.
Yeah, we went live
So,
on Christmas
so
Eve.
your holiday week was, I don't know what you celebrate, and obviously there's many things out there, all are great, but that was probably a wild holiday week. What was your launch experience like? Did that go off without a hitch? How did that go at the beginning? And man, what a time to choose that. Was everybody good with that? I mean, that's kind of an interesting time to get that started.
So, yeah, it was definitely a very interesting time to launch, considering that, December, January, that's when crypto started seeing a lot of its challenges arise, right? Even though we were still experiencing a lot of all-time highs in ETH and some other major tokens out there too, but that's when a lot of controversy started happening in the crypto world, and a lot of doubt. But that didn't phase us from wanting to stick to our launch plan and our launch date. Compared to other projects, I think we had a very, very successful launch. Um, before our launch, a few days prior, I was actually looking around in other telegrams and other groups that were actually launching projects, just to kind of like gauge, what kind of interaction is happening in these launches, and kind of challenges other groups are facing on launch day. And obviously every group deals with FUD, and every group deals with spam and all this other cool stuff on launch day. So I kind of got a whole idea of what to expect on launch day, and we went in there prepared, rather than going in there and being surprised and panicking. We had a pretty good launch. We had I can't remember exactly the number of holders that we got on launch day. It's in my notes somewhere, but I don't have it on the top of my head. But we had a very healthy amount. We had an anti-bot feature as well too, because that's one big thing that I saw happening in launches was, people would launch tokens and they would get, botted to death almost instantly. So we worked with our devs to implement the best features that we can to, wreck the botters, and it worked extremely well. There were a lot of people who were extremely mad that they got wrecked, as far as them trying to bot the project or front run the project and have an unfair advantage over everybody else who was following the rules to get in and participate. So on that end, we killed it. We did extremely good. we were able to, I want to say 99% of bots were pretty much eliminated just from our anti-bot features. And if they were able to get slid in, they immediately got blacklisted as well. So yeah, I think overall we had a pretty successful launch, and you know, the days following afterwards were where things really got interesting.
Yeah, and you can tell. Thank you for the lead in. That's kind of what I'm getting into, because I remember that well. And for you, so you're aware, I've had a bag of Shiba Doge for a while now. That's I've just held on to for a very long time. Obviously, you know, not quite a year yet, because that's LGR, but I've had it for a while. Um, I remember very well, the end of December last year, things spiked pretty well, and it's going, man, this is looking good. And you're looking, well, okay, well, you know, tax shelters, whatever for investors, all that. And then once we got to January 1, once we got to the new year, things changed quite a bit. So you guys, as you alluded to, you saw a major change in the market. Really, I mean, we had seen symptoms, but a major change in the market going into the bear. What was the hardest thing about the first 3 months of this project, knowing that that's forever in a crypto project? So this question, I could really say about the first week, but let's go with the first 3 months. What was the hardest thing about getting to the point where you needed to be, or just about the process in general during that first 3 months?
So I don't want to say the hardest thing, but the most challenging thing, let's say, the most challenging thing was to continue to work as hard as we can to gain the trust of the people that were actually interested in the project, right? Because um, obviously that's something that is a huge playing point in the future success of a project, is how the leaders of the project have a trust connection with the members of the project and the community. So um, I don't want to say it was challenging, but it was challenging because there was a lot of people who were against us at the time, and even now there are people who are against us. But that's just how the world works, and you know that you can't please everybody. But it's still a challenge up to this point. But you know, it doesn't phase us. It just has to. It just means that we have to work hard and continue to be as transparent as we possibly can with our community. So, you know, I'm not sure if you're aware, but we have two AMAs weekly with our community, and without missing a beat. I don't think throughout the entire lifespan of the project we've missed any of our AMAs, and if we have, they've been rescheduled to literally like a few hours later or the next day. So um, yeah, I mean, that's our biggest challenge, is to be able to continue the transparency and continue to fight the FUD, because there's, you know, in the world of crypto, even if you're dealing with the biggest projects in the world, you know, let's say Bitcoin, there are people out there who are fighting Bitcoin and saying that it's, you know, it's not going to make it or whatever. So in this space, I think, you know, there's a lot of positivity, but there's also a lot of negativity, and kind of blocking out the negativity and fighting against it is one of the biggest challenges. But it's something that we're accustomed to at this point, and it's something that, you know, we have a nice plan to move forward.
Yeah, and when you talk about, I mean, you mentioned 97.7% of projects being rug pulls. We've got a pool of investors who are, once bitten, twice shy, and so on. You know what I mean? I mean, they've seen a lot. Most people who have invested in crypto have probably been in more than one token, and quite a few have unfortunately seen an immediate rug pull, or a slow rug, or whatever it is. So they're always looking, they're always looking over their shoulder, and they're always, checking to make sure things are okay. But time heals that. Time creates trust, time creates loyalty, and you've been able to do that very well also. So you've been able to create the community following. You've been able to also see some, I mean, you got over 26,000. I mean, look, according to Dextools right now, right, and statistics, you've got over 26,000 holders just here. I imagine, there's others that we could look, different places and all that, but you've got, $13 million market cap, and you've seen higher numbers than that and all those things, but you were able to see a spike. So getting into that first 3 months, and then the hardest or most challenging thing, and that is better wording, thank you, most challenging thing being just gaining the trust of everybody. What do you think? I mean, communication is key, right? When do you think a turning point was, or if you do feel like there is a turning point to where people started to trust you, and what do you think it was that made that happen? Was it communication? Was it any particular event you held? Was there a turning
Oh,
point, or just kind of over
yeah, that's
time?
an easy one. The number one thing is always delivering on what we promised. So we never promise anything that we can't deliver. So, you know, even early on during the project, you know, some of the things that we were doing, let's say, you know, for example, the CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap listings, or the centralized exchange promises, or, you know, whatever. There was, you know, hundreds of different things, but anything that we brought to the table and told these people that we're going to do, we did, and we're continuing to do as well. So that is the number one pipeline of where, you know, the trust begins and where the trust flows, is because, you know, these people expect a certain level of progression, and we provide that, right? And we are fully transparent as to what we're providing. We tell them what we're going to provide, and we go ahead and do it. So, you know, obviously there are people who say, "Oh no, they can't pull that off," or "No, they can't do that." But then when we do it and we provide it to the table, those people are like, "Oh, okay, well, I guess okay, I guess I was wrong," and I guess, you know, these people are actually in it to win it, in a sense.
Yes, that's it seems so basic, and yet it's not. It seems like a simple thing to just do what you say you're going to do. We are in an industry full of hype, right? You guys know, we're in an industry full of hype, people looking for what might happen and then trying to get in before it does happen, FOMOing in, as we all know about, and then, oh shoot, well, they didn't do it, and now I have to try and get out, whatever. Simply just executing on the things that you say you're going to do is absolutely crucial to gaining trust. And that's, I mean, obviously I'm just singing your praises on this, so hopefully that's how you're hearing it, and everybody else, because it is such a simple thing in theory, yet so many fail to do so. And yet these guys are here since December. We're still talking about a successful project because they're able to execute on a simple thing like doing the things they say they're going to do, right? So let's get down into more of the nitty gritty. So when we talk about the average investor, right? Because we've gotten into a little bit of the background, and I appreciate you doing that. I want to make sure I'm aware of time and all that, so that we can get to the community and all those things. When you're looking at the average investor, let's say, and I like to look at it this way. Let's say somebody just showed up to this AMA and it's their first, it's their first experience in cryptocurrency. They know just some very basic stuff, but they don't understand exactly why Shibadoge would be something that they should consider investing in. Obviously, no financial advice here in this AMA, but if somebody's looking at why Shibadoge, let's get into some of those details. What's the value proposition of Shibadoge for your investors? I realize that's a broad question, but let's start to get into the value proposition of Shibadoge.
Yeah, for sure, man. There's actually plenty of different things that we bring to the table. The very obvious one is new reflections. Obviously, if you're a holder on chain, you get 5%. There's 5% reflections that are split amongst all holders on chain. So any transaction that comes in, that comes out, 5% of the tokens in that transaction are pretty much, shot across the entire holder base. So you're passively gaining more tokens just by being an owner of tokens to start with. Obviously, that's something that has been implemented since day one, and will be something that's part of our tokenomics forever. Number two, which I think is the most valuable thing, is the knowledge that people are gaining from interacting with the community and participating in our AMAs and just participating in our ecosystem in general. I can confidently say that hundreds of people that are a part of our community have learned an immense amount of information about the world of crypto, about the world of Web3 business, all kinds of very important subjects that can translate into future success for whatever they're trying to get into, right? And the biggest value point, I think, is the knowledge that is being shared. Obviously, the financial stuff is cool, and that'll happen on its own when it happens, right? But one thing that we can guarantee is a place where people can actually come and learn a safe haven for Web3, where you're going to be getting correct information. You're not going to be getting any crap. You're not going to be getting any false info. You're not going to be getting any scam info. You're not going to. That's what we pride ourselves in creating, is a safe haven and a place where people can actually come, especially newcomers, and kickstart their crypto journey, because we kickstarted our crypto journey with Doge and Shiba in a sense, and that's where we saw our success. And just the value of the name of the project itself is actually just very strategical and valuable in its own, because obviously they are the two biggest meme coins on the planet. So the brand recognition is there without you even knowing what Shibadoge is as a token. If you first look at it, you automatically are going to be able to identify the Shiba and the Doge and kind of put two and two together. So there's value in even the name itself and even the logo itself. And obviously we have our NFTs as well. Our NFTs, people who own NFTs are currently staking their NFTs. They're accumulating tokens based off of their stakings. And right now we're in season 2 of our staking. There are going to be many, many seasons to follow afterwards. We just have a nice whole ecosystem built, and we're continuing to add more things to the ecosystem as well as time goes on. We have our burn token that is actually sitting kind of dormant right now. With it's a sleeping giant is what I like to call it, because we're working on some really cool things in the background for the burn token as well, to kind of spark some a kickstart to it. We had a lot of good plans for it in the beginning, but the bear market really did its toll and put a halt on everything in a sense, because we didn't want our efforts to be wasted. So they got paused and are getting reworked in a sense. But once everything is all lined up for what we want, then everything, it's like a puzzle piece. Everything will start fitting together very, very smoothly and strategically. So yeah, as far as value, we provide value every single day, because I tell myself, and I tell the community too, if I can help somebody in one way, even one person every single day in the community, then that's a job well done. And I think we do a very great job of helping plenty of people out, and the community contributes to that as well.
Oh, there we go. So yeah, again, things that stuck out, the 5% reflections. I mean, it's passive income. I mean, that's a big deal. That's something that I looked at. I mean, for a long time, when I first started to look at crypto tokens, it was kind of it was 4 years ago. Got into some XRP and then kind of put it in a ledger wallet and left it, and it's still just sitting there. And then came back and started to get into it again. I was one that my attention was pulled elsewhere with some of my ventures, and then when Doge and Shiba started to run, it pulled my attention in. Like me and 80 or probably 99% of everybody else here in crypto right now, and and when I started to look at all the different tokens, the ability to create passive income was a big deal to me. Now, anybody who knows about the reflections in passive income, this takes volume. And how do you create volume? Well, you have the ability to market, which goes back to your point on your branding, which is extremely important. Again, I think you guys absolutely nailed it. Having done Shiba Doge there, I mean, everybody, you're going to be noticed, and that not everybody gets that. A lot of people have tried to be affiliated, and I mean, it's not an official affiliation, but thought amongst Doge and Shiba and all those. But I would say that you and your group have been able to be a step ahead with that, with Shiba Doge, because it hit. I mean, it did exactly, in my mind anyway. I think it did exactly what you guys were hoping it would do. You're a well-known name, and and Shiba Doge is its own thing that in my own mind, I think of that as its own entity. But of course, it also ties back to my thoughts with Shiba and with Doge and all the memories of those running and what's still going on there, and all the many opportunities there. So the branding is spot on, which is obviously going to help keep that volume up for the passive income that comes from reflections. And then you talk about the education and communication side. We've talked a lot about education on this AMA because it is such a big deal. I've taken time myself to do shows just talking about education on a Telegram channel where I'm just going, hey, let's just talk about what people need to know in crypto to be able to survive, because there are so many things to be aware of when you're going to look to invest in tokens, or even just be part of a community, whatever. It can be toxic to get into some Telegram channels. People get in there and they feel like they're over their head just watching the comments coming, all sorts of stuff. Anyway, I'll abbreviate, but what would you say on the education side? Because I want to touch on that a little bit more. What would you say it would be kind of the top, one, two, or three topics that you feel like you need to get into the most on the education side for the sake of the community? What do they need the most with the education in crypto?
Yeah, man, easy. Number one is obviously security, is to teach people how to protect themselves on Web3 and how to protect their assets on Web3. So, identify scams, identify people in their DMs who are trying to scam them. You know, give them tips and pointers on what types of hardware wallets are the best, and general security stuff is number one teaching point. And on my end is what I like to teach people, because obviously people are getting scammed and getting hacked and whatever left and right in the space, and it's probably one of the biggest problems that the space has. And there are good solutions to it, but there need to be better solutions as well. So in the meantime, just sharing the knowledge of how people can avoid getting themselves into those situations is very valuable. The third one is pretty much how to navigate through Web3, how to kind of learn what the basics of Web3 are, because a lot of people come in not knowing anything, and just by spending about a couple hours in our Telegram asking questions, they're pretty familiar with some of the basics. So that's another key thing. And then the other key thing is to kind of try to teach patience, because patience is a trait that I don't really want to say can be taught, but it can be expressed in a way from people who actually are experienced in it and have seen success using the skill. Because patience is a skill if you really think about it. And as humans, as people, we really want instant gratification. We want that satisfying feeling when we do something, like almost immediately. And if it doesn't happen immediately, we get very discouraged and we start doing things to try to justify our decision making, right? So one thing that I really like to teach people is, like, it doesn't matter whether it's in this project or another project or another investment, whatever. If you're going to get yourself involved into something and you're going to financially tie yourself into something, fall in love with what you're tying yourself into. Because if you fall in love with it and you kind of do the research and you do the hard work and put the elbow grease into knowing what you're getting yourself into and kind of understanding the vision and the future that is being laid out in front of you, you will be able to kind of plan out your journey, right? Instead of having to just be glued to your computer screen looking at the charts every single day, or trying to figure out, you're refreshing Twitter every 20 minutes trying to see if an update is coming out. Like, that's one of the biggest killers in investing in anything, Web3, Web2, Web1, I don't care, is when you're just tied up, glued, like a crazy person looking at your screen nonstop, and on every green candle you're happy, every red candle you're freaking out. That's not healthy, and that's not going to turn you into a successful investor. That's actually going to do the opposite. It's gonna wreck you. So we really try to teach patience and try to teach people to not get their emotions involved in this journey, because the crypto journey is only beginning. I mean, the crypto journey, the entire crypto market is $1 trillion market cap right now. That's the entire crypto market. When you look at Apple, and they're one company in the world, literally just one company, and they're almost 3 times the market cap of the entire crypto market. So, if you really zoom out, you could see the potential growth and the potential growth value that the crypto market still has, right? In a sense. So, within the next year to 5 years, I expect to see a lot more people coming into the world of crypto and adapting blockchain technology into their everyday lives. And I think even right now, we're still super, super early, and everybody involved in the space right now is going to be considered a pioneer. And, if you want to fast forward 5 years and then look back and say, hey, I should have maybe done things a little bit differently, that's because you weren't patient to begin with. And I think, preparing people for the future is something that we value as well.
Yeah, that
And
nervous crypto investor lifestyle. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Max. Go ahead.
one thing that I want to add on to that as well is that ultimately the reason why people are traders instead of investors is also comes down to a lack of education and knowing what they're invested in. So that's where we're mindful, and we create a ton of content, like even on our YouTube channel we've hired a video team to create educational content for the investors and new investors coming into crypto, so they can learn everything about crypto to really identify what's a good project and what's a bad project, so people can learn what a liquidity pool is, why it's so important, what makes an NFT so special, etc., etc. um, People need to understand these things, and if they do, they'll be a lot more confident in what they're invested in, and if they're more confident, then at the end of the day they'll understand and recognize what's a good project. So education is something that we're really passionate about, and that's ultimately what we see being a big part of the project down the line too, and something that we're very mindful of right now, and investing tremendous amounts in to create as many educational resources as possible for new people coming into crypto overall, not just into Shiba Doge, but into crypto as a whole.
And thank you for doing that. I mean, there have been tokens that I've looked into where I spent a fair share of time on crypto stuff, as you can imagine at this point. I mean, this is stuff I do every day. And man, there are some tokens that I thought, geez, this could do really well. And then, go into Telegram, follow Twitter, whatever, you ask questions at times and really feel like they don't have anything to tell me, honestly. They don't have, they're not able to educate me about the project because there's really no, I guess what I come to find out is that there's not really much of a short-term or end or long-term goal in sight other than let's keep everybody excited, have a lot of, a lot of happy memes and GIFs running on Telegram showing explosions and money and all those things and having more buys come in. But and those create green candles, and those are good. I'm not saying it's not good, but it never lasts forever. It doesn't last, it lasts for minutes, not hours and days and weeks.
Yeah, it's artificial,
Whatever
man.
it is.
And that's one thing that I've been able to identify in the space of, especially this space of DeFi, is if you look at, let's say, 500 projects. Let's say you grab 500 pretty decently organized projects on Dextools or whatever, and you look through all of them. A majority of them, or if not all of them, if they offer or promise some kind of crazy utility or whatever, if you zoom out, what it really is in the space is a bunch of great and good ideas brought to life and ran by a bunch of people who are bad actors. Because the thing is, it's like you have to be in this with the right intentions for you to be able to see success and for you to be able to grow and actually nurture a community and be able to show a community what success really looks like. Because it's not just about having a good idea. It's about the execution, and it's about the people who are behind the curtain running it, right? Because if they're not good-hearted people, and if they're not in it for the long run themselves, and if they're not in it for the long run themselves, then how can you expect their investors to be in it for the long run? You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what we brought to the table is a no gimmick thing, right? We're obviously in the genre of meme coins. We don't offer any crazy world changing thing right at this point. If it comes, it comes. That's great. But you know, what we pride ourselves in is our vision, which we've talked about, is the knowledge, which we've talked about, is the community building, which we've talked about, is a lot of great things that are not gimmicks that we've brought to the table and we've created with our community and with this project. And that's the beautiful thing, is like, we're not here trying to not here trying to change the world in one shot. We rather change the world one person at a time, and kind of, you know, teach them about how to navigate through the space. And you know, teaching more people who are new to the space will actually grow our market immensely, rather than, you know, these a lot of other devs who are wrecking people and doing launching rug pulls and stuff left and right. Though that's actually given a bad rap to the whole space that we're in, and it's really putting a bad reputation on the space of DeFi. That's not what we want. We rather see slow growth, but we rather see it happen naturally, organically, so that we don't have those manufactured fake green candles that people get excited about, and then, you know, they blink or they turn away and look back and the green candle is gone. You get what I'm saying? So it's better to do it. It's better to do it organically. Yeah, it is harder. Yeah, it does take more time. But if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, man.
Right. And not everybody is, maybe it seems like everybody's trying to launch something, but not everybody is getting past, you know, a week, a month, many months into the space in crypto, and actually having a successful token this long it's definitely not something everybody's doing. It takes something different. So tell me this, guys, what are you most excited about now? I know you've got the NFTs, you've got some unique stuff there. What are you most excited about now, and going into the near future? And of course the long vision, everybody wants to know that. I'll have to leave some meat on the bone here for the Q&A, of course. Everybody get those ready. We'll start doing those here in the next little bit. What are you most excited about now and here in the short term?
So right now we're excited about where we are and the amount of progress that we've made in under a year. Obviously, it's no easy feat to reach the achievements that we've been able to reach this year with our project. Obviously, 26,000 plus holders on chain. Who knows how many thousand off chain and centralized exchanges, and you know, across our socials, we're pretty much booming. We've got hundreds of thousands of followers across our socials. So that's what we're excited about. We're excited about the state of where we are right now. We're in a very good spot. So it kind of gives us a cushion to continue working in the background to bring new things to the table. Obviously, we have you know, our Shibadoge NFTs coming out, like you said, where people will be able to breed their existing NFTs that they have currently. We have, you know, future staking seasons, which are going to be introducing new interactions and new ways the community can engage with the project. And obviously, metaverse is something that we're interested in, but as of right now, there isn't really any groundbreaking metaverse action happening. So we're keeping our eyes open, because we do know that the metaverse is going to be something that can make some strides in the future, and that's something that we want to be involved in as well when the time comes. But all in all, man, what we've been wanting to do since day one, and what we're going to continue to try to do, is to create this beautiful ecosystem. And the reason why I call it an ecosystem is because everything that we bring to the table that has to kind of tie into the entire project is something that comes back full circle to help, you know, Shibadoge, to help the NFTs, to help Burn, to help the community, to help everything else. So I mean, we have a news channel on Twitter which gives unbiased crypto news. You know, we have our YouTube channel now. We're bringing to the table really good, really well produced videos that are educating people. We're doing a lot of things that people might not take notice of immediately. They might not see the value in it immediately, but you know, as we scale these things and as we turn them into more household names, and as we turn them into more regular, more into things people more regularly use in the future, then you know that's where things start getting really interesting, and that's where things start getting really serious. Because think about it like this: in the early days of tech, you know, people would start websites. Let's say Facebook, for example. You know, Facebook started, and you know, when it started, nobody really cared about it. Nobody knew what it was. And you know, fast forward, you know, a decade, and it's one of the biggest platforms in the world. So it's not about where you start; it's about where you finish. And obviously, this road is something that requires adaptation to us too, because there are certain things that arise and that are brought to the table in the crypto space that you kind of have to implement into into your project too down the line. So you know, when that next big thing comes up, we are going to have to kind of be like, oh, okay, we have to kind of, you know, introduce this to our ecosystem too. So, you know, obviously things can change in the future depending on how Web3 advances and how you know, the direction in which Web3 moves. But we're well equipped to you know, follow along in that ride and bring our own ideas to the table, bring our own twists to the table, and just grow this community, grow this project, and try to become as big of a household name as we possibly can.
And you guys are doing a great job of it so far. I expect that to remain. I mean, you just have so many pieces of this. I mean, you look at just kind of the statistics, you know, I mean, where you've been, where you are now, the exchanges, the holders, the market cap, you've got all of those things there. And again, the branding spot on, all of those things there that tell you that this is something that can be around for a long time and really make a difference. And you've got the community support, which ultimately, man, having the community support, that's really the difference maker. Having that foundational community and the leaders in the community, those people who help push things even beyond. I mean, you can hear things from a team, and those things are good. And you guys are doing a great job with that from everything it sounds like, and from what I've seen. But having community tell you as well, having community leaders and the community letting people know, yes, this is a team you can trust. This is a team that does what they say they're going to do. It's nice to hear from the community when you're an investor, as well as the team, as that second kind of testament to tell you this is something that, you know, that I can trust. This is something. And again, everybody do your own research, but that is a big deal. It's a huge deal to have that coming from both sides, having all of your promises being kept. That's going to it has made a difference now, and I believe it will continue to do so in the future. Let's get into some question and answer from the community here. I know we've got kind of some big prize giveaways here. This one's extremely generous, guys. We've got up to $500 here. It's being given away during our Q&A session here. So Leo, Max, how would you like to do this on the questions and giveaway? Everybody start requesting now. Come up with good questions again. I'll probably be looking for some unique for some unique people asking questions to make sure, you know, it's not somebody that we've called on in the last day or so. Obviously, if you know, if we need to come to you and get your question, we will. But anyway, how would you guys like to run this so that we can make the most of this fun giveaway that we're doing?
Max, is there any specific way you had in mind, or should we just improvise real quick?
No, I think we can take the top 5 questions and go based off of that. Choose 5
Best
winners.
questions. Okay, best questions. That's the way we've been doing it. We wanted to make sure there wasn't anything else in mind. It's such a generous amount that, man, that's awesome. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. So Leo, I've made you a co-host as well. If there's anybody that you see that you know in particular, hey, this is somebody that I think should be able to ask a question, let me know. Otherwise, I will start to select people to come up and ask questions. And we'll get started with the Q&A. For everybody, again, the rules. Okay, there's some rules here. We've had to create rules because of those of you who made us create rules. But here are the rules. 1, no shilling. Okay, you're here to talk about Shibadoge today, and there's plenty to talk about here. Make sure you're asking good, unique questions. Make it worth your time here with the team from Shibadoge, who's been so generous to spend this time with you and to be giving out, you know, such a great prize, $500 in giveaway money for good questions. So come up and earn it with your unique and well thought out questions. Okay, and 1 question per person. Okay, we need 1 question per person so other people have an opportunity. So don't shotgun them with a whole bunch of questions to try and get one to win the prize. 1 question.
We could bring up Snowman if you want, Shib. And one thing to add on, yeah, we are super generous as a project. I don't know what the exact number is, but at this point, since launch day to this point, we're probably close to have given away over $1 million to the community. If you know, if it's not at $1 million, it's then close to $1 million. So we are very, very generous as a project to the community, and we always like to give back to the community as well. This isn't our first, nor will it be our last, you know, giveaway.
Yeah, that's very apparent. I mean, you guys are being that's very generous, and I love it. It's so much fun to see that. So this should be a fun Q&A. Please follow the rules, or else we'll have to mute you, and we don't want to do that. So let's get started. So you said Snowman. We'll go ahead and start out with you. Okay. Go ahead and unmute your mic and ask your question as soon as you connect here. And that's the same deal for anybody when you come to ask a question. Looks like Snowman, you should be able to unmute and ask your question whenever you're ready.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, good. How are you?
Doing really well, thanks. So my question was, we're in season 2 of staking right now for our NFTs. Just looking forward, how are we able to make staking sustainable for the seasons to come?
So, good question. You know, as the seasons progress, we will be introducing you know, different ways of staking and different variations of staking, and we have a plan, you know, in motion for how the future of staking is going to progress. And I mean that will be introduced as the seasons progress as well too. So, you know, once season 2 is concluded, you know, you guys will get a rundown as to what to expect from the entirety of season 3. You know, and obviously throughout those seasons, things change and adapt as well too. So, depending on what stage the project currently is at, will determine a lot of, you know, the future seasons as well too. But that's something that we have planned out, and we definitely have a good plan moving forward into it as well. So just keep your eye out for you know, future announcements and advancements as to what to expect in the future seasons. So.
Very nice.
Awesome, thanks guys. And I just
Thank
wanted
you,
to
so
also,
man.
sorry, I just wanted to also add the YouTube videos that we've been putting out on our YouTube channel are absolutely amazing. Like all the info that's on them, like the last one with the DNC hack or whatever it was. I forget exactly what it was, but it was, I never even knew about that, and it's just really cool to have all that info out there now.
I'm really happy that they're helping, you know, teach you guys things, man, because that's what they're there for. And Max really does put a lot of work into getting those videos out to you guys, and I'm sure he's very happy to hear that.
Yeah, no, keep on killing it, guys. Thanks.
Thank you, brother.
Very nice. Okay, we'll go ahead and I'll choose one, and then Leo, if there's one after that you want to choose, I guess we maybe go back and forth here. Let's go with Pancake
Sure.
Special. Looks like. Go ahead and add you as a speaker, Pancake Special, and go ahead and unmute your mic as soon as you're connected and ask your question of the team.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Cool. First off, I appreciate your time, and I'm sorry if this question's been answered in the past AMAs. But are y'all thinking of making another token to go along with Shibadoge and Burn?
Well, it's a premature question because you never know how the ecosystem will develop in the future. There may be something that has to come up to be like a pipeline, but as of right now, there is nothing in mind, and there is nothing that we're working on as far as a different token or project or anything like that goes. So that's not a hard no as to, you know, what the future entails, but it is a no as of right now.
Okay, right on. And
yeah,
I got to agree. This community is great. Y'all held my hand for a long time, so very much appreciated.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
So, thanks.
Very nice. Okay, Leo, do you have somebody you'd like to bring up, or I can choose another?
Yeah, you can choose another one. We'll just pick some random.
Let's go. Striker's been here for a little while. Striker, go ahead, and after you connect, unmute your mic and ask your question with Leo and Max here.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey. You know, around 45 days ago, I guess, you know, I cannot remember the exact date, but Chain also was launched as a new blockchain, and also, you know, they got their sales on Pink Sale. Any plans to, you know, extend to Chain as a Shibadoge?
So I've heard of it, and the thing is, do we have plans to expand multi-chain eventually? Yes, we do have plans to take this multi-chain and cross-chain in the future. Whether or not we go on Dogechain, that's completely up to them as a project. If we see that their a blockchain is something sustainable and something that actually has a impact in the space and can prove to be something that can last for a very long time and has growth potential, then yeah, we'll look into it. But as of right now, I mean, I really don't put any resources towards looking at compatibility into there, but just because it's still a proof of concept and it's still very new to the space, that we kind of want to be somewhere where there's a big audience and there's a big obviously the Ethereum network is the largest network, that the best network in my opinion that we can be on, and then obviously there's BNB and there's a few other good blockchains out there as well. So if they can implement themselves as a solid blockchain in the future, then sure, we'll have some eyes on it.
Thank you. They seem very assertive. That's why I asked that. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you.
Another good question. Thank you. All right, we'll keep going. Let's go with Dr. Richard Francis. You have been added as a speaker. We've got the good doctor. Okay, go ahead and unmute your microphone and ask your question as soon as you come are cleared or connect. I'm sorry. Kind of the same thing there, right? Once you're connected. Cleared, connected, whatever, man. Both start with the letter C.
This is what Twitter Spaces needs to improve on, man, is the connectivity, right? When you bring people up, it takes too long to connect.
It's such a cool platform. It really is. I love the reach that we're able to get out of it. It's been a lot of fun that way. It's, I mean, we've done things Telegram in the past. I'm sure you have as well.
Yep.
I'm sure you've probably done quite a bit of it. And this just goes to another level. So hopefully we'll see those improvements as the new ownership is taking over. Whatever your thoughts are.
We will with Elon, man. Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna change this up to be the absolute best platform out there. I mean, it already was one of the best platforms out there, if not the best for the crypto community. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot more improvements moving forward.
Yeah, he seems to be taking it personally. For whatever you think of him, he seems to be taking it personally and how it turns out. So I hope that that's the case. Okay, let's go. We're getting heart after heart after heart. We'll go ahead and bring you up here. Chucky Web3. Here's your shot. Let's make sure that this is a good, thoughtful question, please. As soon as you connect, go ahead and ask your question. Oh, Aaron's doing the same thing now. Okay, I think I know what's going on. Did we lose Chucky? No, go ahead and ask your question. Chucky, you can unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep, we hear you.
My question is, will Shibadoge offer some kind of grant program for developers so they can build on and expand the Shibadoge network? How much funding is left? How long do you think Shibadoge can run without any further rounds of funding?
Well, good question. So, I mean, as far as funding goes, I mean, we've got funding under control, and we've never asked for any funding from any of the community or outsourced any funding. I mean, so far, every venture that we've gotten ourselves into, we've been able to fund ourselves, and the project has been able to fund as well too. I mean, there is a small 5% marketing and development tax that actually helps fund a lot of these ventures as well too, and that's the whole point, that the tokenomics are set up the way they are, is so that the project could continue to use resources to progress itself and move forward and continue to thrive, depending on the amount of volume that it gets, right? So the more volume it gets and the more traction it gets, the bigger amount of resources that the project will have to kind of have at its disposal to expand.
Where do you and the Shibadoge see the world of blockchain being in
We're
years?
just going to do one question per speaker. Chucky, thank you. That was a very good question. We're going to stick to one question per speaker so we can get to everybody. We also want to be mindful of the team's time.
It's okay, sir.
Leo, thank you so much. Leo and Max, do you guys have a drop dead time here? Or are you good to answer a few more questions? Because
No,
I'm
no, we're
good
good,
on
man.
time.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm good
we're
on
good.
time, so I want to make sure you guys get plenty of time here. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and grab another one. Let's go, Aaron T. Aaron T. Once you connect, go ahead and unmute your microphone and ask your question of Leo and Max here.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Leo, Max?
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, this is Devo, and from Telegram. But quick question, man. I mean, obviously, you know, I've been holding for I think January 1st. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, we
Oh,
hear you.
okay. Thought I heard something. You know, my question is just quickly. It's regarding the NFTs actually, because I know a lot of people think, and obviously it's just an assumption, but you know, the Vitalik NFT is like probably within the remaining 1,000 or so NFTs left to be minted. Is there any way to I guess randomize the remaining NFTs? So instead, I think I can't remember what.
So
Oh, yep.
yeah, yeah. So they are completely
Oh,
randomized. I
okay.
mean, I can guarantee you it's in the remaining of the unminted ones, but I personally have no idea. It could be the next one that gets minted. It could be the last one that gets minted. That's to no one's knowledge. I mean, we have no idea. Everything is completely randomized on that end.
Okay, hey man, I appreciate that because I mean I don't think anyone ever knew that, so that's good to know. Like you said, it could be even the absolute next one. So, perfect. Okay, thanks, man. Keep up the great work, bro.
Yeah, of course, bro. Great question, by the way. Thank you.
It's one of the fun things about NFTs, and always, I'm sure that this is, intentional, but it's always reminded me of in my youth going and buying baseball cards and opening and hoping for, my favorite players or whatever. You never know quite what you're going to get, but hey, you got a chance to get something pretty awesome. And either way, I'd end up with something good, but would go back and get some more. I love that part about NFTs. I know a lot of people do.
Yeah,
Fun
man. When I
part of
was
it.
a kid, I loved like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff like that. I remember they would sell it at there was an ice cream truck by my house that would roll around and start selling those little 5 packs or 10 packs, and I would save up every little bit of money every week to get one, and me and my friends would open them up, and yeah, it's kind of like NFTs are literally the same thing nowadays.
Yeah, oh, it is. I've got binders and binders of, I think, baseball, basketball cards, that kind of stuff from 30 years ago. Probably still sitting at my parents' home in a box somewhere. Probably should go look through them,
Yeah.
huh? There's probably some good stuff in there. Anyway, yeah, the NFTs are a lot of fun that way. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up another one. We've got Jay Frank, or that's Jay Frank. Let's do that one. As soon as you're connected, go ahead and unmute and ask your question for Leo and Max. Hopefully
Hey
we get a
guys,
quick connection here.
just want to say hey and
There we
thanks
go.
for all your time and effort, guys. This project is awesome. And what you guys were just talking about brings me to my question. As far as, let's say, a trading, type of platform or game, let's say, do you guys have anything in the future as far as if we want to trade Shibadoge NFTs amongst each other in the community, things of that nature, at all?
Right now, a great question actually, because that is something that we've talked about in the past, and that's still something that is on our radar. As of right now, the only way to transfer and trade NFTs amongst yourselves would have to be through, OpenSea with a purchase, or through Trust, where people are actually sending them over, or maybe using a middleman or something like that, which I don't recommend. I really don't recommend it unless it's one of us and one of the devs who are actually brokering the deal. But yeah, I mean, in the future, we would ideally want to have some program or some kind of platform where people are able to actually use blockchain and a smart contract to trade NFTs, whether they're our NFTs or whether they're all kinds of different types of NFTs.
Awesome, man. Thanks. I'm just psyched about everything, and you guys are doing an unbelievable job. Just keep on going. We have your back.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate it.
I like that one as well. That's a good question. It goes back to the cards back in the day, right? Going through with your friends and checking on those things that you have, that you don't, making some trades. I like that.
Yep.
That's cool. Let's go ahead and bring up a couple more. Let's see. We got requested down here. Bob Games NFT. As soon as you connect, make sure to ask your question, make sure to unmute and ask your question. Of course, you'll ask your question, right? Once you're connected, unmute your microphone and go ahead and ask that question. And we're excited to hear from you, Bob. It looks like you should be ready to roll as soon as you unmute. Maybe you may not go by Bob. Maybe go by, let's see. Well, maybe you do. Bob Games NFT. Go ahead and unmute your mic and ask your question. We'll give you probably about 5 more seconds here. Bob Games NFT to go ahead and unmute your mic and ask your question, or I'll probably have to bring somebody else up. There we go.
Hey guys,
Hi.
can you hear me?
Hey, Bob. Yep.
Yes.
Since I'm an artist, I was attracted by your NFTs, and you mentioned earlier the metaverse. I would like to know the different aspect that will be integrated in this one. You know, is it gonna include maybe games or social interaction? Thank you.
Yeah, so I mean, ideally, good question. Ideally, the vision is to actually wait for the metaverse to be able to support everything that we want out of it before we actually spend so much time, money, and resources into you know, getting into the metaverse. But yeah, I mean, ideally, it would I would want it to be a hub where you know, people can come and learn about the project, hang out with other community members, play games with other community members. You know, walk around as their NFTs and just kind of, you know, just a virtual world where our project can live and where our community members can interact with one another. You know, maybe these AMAs, instead of having them, you know, on Telegram or Twitter, we can have them in the metaverse and on the stage. And, you know, there's a lot of possibilities as to what the metaverse can bring in the future.
It really is endless, isn't it? I mean, that's kind of one of the fun things. I know it's got its criticisms, and I know it's upsides and its criticisms, but when it comes down to it, if it's executed properly, there's so many things you can do in you know, in the metaverse scenario that it just has to be.
Yeah,
we have to continue, right? We
it
just
would
have to
have to be
continue.
crazy. Yeah, and in my opinion, Max, I think the one metaverse that's really gonna knock it out of the water and kill it, and you're gonna laugh, but I think it's gonna be Facebook's metaverse, man. Just because if you put enough money and enough talent into something, doesn't matter what it is, enough money and enough talent, you're gonna have a good product. And I mean, just this last year alone, I think they burned about $10 billion US into the metaverse development, and they're not slowing down anytime soon. So, you know, they're gonna build something massive and something insane. I mean, you know, a lot of these other Web3 metaverses, they have a lot of good ideas, but they do not have the money and the talent to do what Facebook is doing. So it's just a matter of time at this point.
Well, and like you say, you know, you're going to laugh because we all know kind of what the, well, a lot of us know kind of what the narrative is there. But when it comes down to it, if, you know, they roll out something absolutely amazing, guess what? You know, you're going to be in. I've seen the, you know, the previews where, okay, we've got this glove that's got all these little, you know, it's got all the little feeler nodes on there. I mean, you just, all these, the haptics are crazy. You can feel things, you can do, I mean, if they pull that off, I mean, how do you, it's going to be real competitive. Let's just say it's going to be real competitive, and that's going to be a lot of fun to see.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to have a monopoly on that market for years and years to come. So that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, hopefully everybody gets in and does their very best. And you know, I think they'll collaborate as well, though. You know, I do. I think they'll collaborate and give people an opportunity to help lift their product. They've done that in the past. And anyway, we'll go ahead and take up. You guys good for a couple more questions?
Yeah, I'm not rushing anyway.
Okay. Let's do a couple more questions. So we've got a few that have been waiting for a little while. Let's go Edet Daniels. Edet, once you're connected, go ahead and unmute your mic and you can ask your question. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Hello. Okay, awesome. So,
We can
Yeah,
hear you.
we hear you.
okay, awesome. Thank you. So, my question is regarding the NFTs. So, since the NFT is going to be based on rarity system, so when an holder stake, will an NFT holder with a higher rarity be able to earn more with the one with lower rarity, or is just going to be based on proportional system?
Yeah, so as of right now, rarity does have a factor into the amount of rewards that you get from staking. I mean, it's not groundbreaking where if you have a lower ranked NFT, you're gonna be performing horrible, and you're not. You're gonna be still doing very well. But yeah, rarity does play a factor into those rewards, and I believe we do have some resources and information on our website as where you could learn more about that and get some of those numbers. But it's not the rarity that's the ranking. That's not the point. It's the rank of like there's generals, there's privates, there's different types of NFTs that give different types of rewards. But there's some resources on our website that you could look through and kind of get a better understanding and a better idea of how all that works.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
Very good. Okay, let's go ahead and if this is good with you guys, take one more question, and hopefully this is the kind of the coup de grace of all questions, and then we'll get into the giveaways. However, you guys, want to announce those giveaways now, or if you want to list them later, you let me know. But we do have time. We can go ahead and announce them after this last question. You can make those choices if you'd like, and then DM those people. We'll make sure to get that information. But let's go ahead and take at least one more question. Does that sound good, Leo, Max? Everybody good with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right, let's do it. So we've got, all right, Aman, let's see, you're going to go ahead and be our last question here, as long as it's a good one. Go ahead and unmute and ask your question. Please make sure, again, good, thoughtful questions, follow the rules, and have a good time talking to the team here with Shibadoge, with Leo and Max. Go ahead and unmute your mic and ask your question, Aman. Looks like you're connected, Aman. Go ahead and unmute your mic and you can ask your question. You're muted. Give you about 5 more seconds to unmute, and then I will have to choose somebody else. Aman, last chance. Unmute your mic. Oh, shoot. All right.
Hey, hello.
Go ahead. Oh, wait, at the very last second.
There he is.
At the buzzer.
When merchandise will come out?
I'm sorry, can you restate that?
Yeah, I heard him. He said, when will merch come out? So there isn't a set deadline as to when merch will come out, but it will come out when the designs are finalized and when we actually have a plan for how we want to introduce the merch. There's a lot more important things that we're tied up working on at the moment, so merch is obviously something that's on our radar, but it's not a big priority as of right now. But we are still, slowly chipping away at getting an idea of that and how to introduce it. So, merch will come soon, but I don't have any time frame on it.
Thanks for reply. I love Shibadoge.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, we've had some good questions there. I feel like we've had some good questions there. We've been able to get some good information. Here's the deal, as I always say, because it always seems to be the case. I know we have more questions. Guys, go to their Telegram channel, follow their Twitter. Make sure you ask your questions if you're not able to do it here in this AMA. Follow them amongst their next AMAs, wherever they go. Hopefully we can have them back at some point. We always like to do that with, this is an awesome project, and you want to make sure to follow them and make sure to ask these questions. So find that TG link. If you have that linked here with the AMA, that would be great. Leo, Max, make sure that you're following these guys. Again, this is recorded. Please retweet the recording. Let people know to listen to it. Tell people.
Max,
hey,
one quick closing statement. I just want to add on. Sorry to cut you off.
No, yeah, you definitely still going to give you time. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead in that case. I'm sorry. I thought you were just going to end it there.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to let everybody who's listening in know right now, if you guys go to our Twitter page and look at our pinned tweet, we do have a community crypto tournament being hosted right now, which involves 18 of the biggest names in the space of DeFi. And just take your time to go through the polls, make some votes. It'll only take you probably 2 minutes to do the whole thing. It'll really help the space out and really help bring some more exposure to our project and all these other projects that are also involved on the list. So it's something that we're going to be pushing for this entire month, and the winner of the entire tournament is we're going to buy $10,000 worth of that token and burn it off chain. So on chain, I'm sorry. No, we're going to burn it on chain. So whoever wins is pretty much their project is getting a $10,000 donation. So go on there, vote for your favorite project. Obviously, Shibadoge is on there too, so vote for Shibadoge if you want. But yeah, that's what I just wanted to bring up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, get out there and vote for Shibadoge. Of course, you're here with the AMA. Go vote for Shibadoge. Okay, good. Well, we've got a giveaway to do here, guys. So we've got $500 in giveaways. If you win, the team will DM you. We've gone ahead and taken a screenshot if you've asked a question so that we can make sure to DM you. You won't need to DM us, otherwise we know what will happen. As I said before, we get many copy accounts that look exactly the same. So we will DM you. Leo, how'd you want to go about picking the winners?
I already picked the winners. I wrote them down. I've been writing them down as we went. So
perfect.
Yeah, I'll DM you after this.
Okay, perfect. So we will announce the winners and let you know after after we're all wrapped up here with the AMA. That's great. And again, thank you to everybody for the participation. It's a big deal to have so many people here. It also shows, Shibadoge has become a staple in the crypto community. Everybody is aware of Shibadoge, whether it's everybody or not. This is a very well-known brand. Like I said, you guys spot on, Leo, Max, and the rest of the group. You guys nailed it with that. And you're doing so many things well. You're an open book. I mean, we could ask anything, as you've told me before the interview. Hey, ask us anything. Right. And that's always a good thing to hear, guys. Just so you know, that was in our pre-AMA chat. Ask us anything you want. They're an open book. Go to their TG, ask them anything. These guys want to educate you. They want to tell you everything about what they're doing, and they're in it for the long haul, have been through ups and downs, and they're still here. Retweet the recording. Make sure that you follow these guys. And again, thank you all for the participation and attendance. And thank you so much to Leo and Max for being here with the VIP Twitter Space AMA series. You guys have been absolutely great guests. Thank you very much.
Thanks likewise, Max. Thanks for hosting this. And also one more thing, join our Telegram to stay up to date with everything and ask any questions about the project. We have a great community in there who is hanging out at all times that you can always get answers to or just hang out. So I'm sure we'll drop that link down here too, but you can get that on our page, our Twitter page as well.
Yeah, or you could just go to realshibadoge.com or even just shibadoge.com, and all of our links and socials and everything are provided there as well. So, and if you do join our Telegram, feel free to tag me if you have any questions. I'm always looking at our chat, and I'm always aware of people asking me questions. So it doesn't have to always just be on a AMA voice call. You can always write to me, and I try to get back to everybody in a timely manner.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having
Take
us,
him up
Max.
on that.
This was great. Yeah, take me up on
you
that,
bet.
please.
Yeah, take him up on that. Take him up on that. He's serious. I mean, you can tell he's serious. He wants to talk to you. These guys want to talk to you. They want to educate you. They do their AMAs a couple times a week. They do the things that they say they're going to do, keep their promises. That's a big deal in this space for anybody who knows. So again, for Max and Leo with the Shibadoge team, Shiba Inu Hodler, myself, Max Ford, speaking through the Shiba Inu Hodler account today. Thank you so much for the attendance, and we'll look forward to the next VIP Twitter Space AMA. Until then, everybody have an absolutely great day, and we'll see you all soon. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.